In this chaotic realm, where weak souls merely await hollow solace from supernatural forces or outdated moral codes, there exists another path. A path for those who dare to confront the raw truth of human nature. It is the path of the will to power, a concept distorted, misunderstood. Yet the key to unlocking a life where you are unstoppable. This is not an invitation to senseless brutality, but a trumpet call for courageous spirits, those ready to break free from the shackles of mediocrity, to become masters of their own destiny, to dominate their own game. The lie of old ideals, where mediocrity reigns. We have been lulled to sleep by fairy tales of humility, of blind compassion, of a meaningless heaven that only the weak crave. These dogmas, whether cloaked in morality or religion, are merely tools of the weak to control the strong. We are taught to bow down, to obey, to sacrifice ourselves for an undefined common good. A common good that only serves the existence of the inferior, those who fear greatness. The so-called slave morality, a product of weakness and fear, has permeated the very bones of our society. It encourages passivity, submission, and acceptance of fate. It glorifies qualities like compassion, self-sacrifice, and empathy, not because they are inherently good, but because they are instruments to suppress strong, aspiring instincts. The weak use these concepts as a shield, as a weapon against the strong, to level everything down to the lowest common denominator. They want everyone to be the same because they fear difference, prominence, and greatness. They envy those who dare to live a full life, who dare to break free from limitations. This is not a mere saying, but a declaration of inner strength. We are not born to be docile sheep. We are born with a burning fire within, a desire to ascend, a will to conquer. Obstacles, failures, pain. They are not endpoints, but trials, forges to temper the will, to transform you into a resilient entity, unyielding. Scars are not symbols of failure, but medals of honor, proof that you have fought, stood firm, and become stronger. The greatest challenge is not to defeat external enemies, but to overcome the cowardice, doubt, and self-pity within yourself. Society has sown into our minds the seeds of mediocrity, of the fear of rejection, of the desire for acceptance at all costs. We must uproot those seeds, tear down the veil of lies that the world has cast. The will to power is not a violent desire to impose one's will on others. It is a primal force, a vital drive, a natural instinct to expand, to grow, to surpass oneself. It is the craving to become the strongest, most complete version of yourself. It is the impetus to seize your destiny, to create value, to engrave your mark upon the world. Look at life, from a tiny cell to a majestic tree, from a single-celled organism to a dominant species in the food chain. All are driven by an endless will to ascend, to multiply, to occupy. The will to power is the fundamental impulse of all life, an unceasing desire to assert itself, to grow, to become stronger. All that is great in this world, from colossal architectural marvels to timeless artistic masterpieces, from history-changing inventions to groundbreaking scientific achievements, are manifestations of the will to power. It is the mysterious driving force behind every success, every ascent. Those who do not recognize it or intentionally deny it will forever remain slaves to circumstance, living meaningless lives, awaiting approval from others. to power gives you that why. It is the beacon that illuminates your path, even on the darkest nights. It is the fire that warms your soul when the world around is cold. It is the most powerful affirmation of your existence. It is not a choice, but a truth. The question is not whether you possess the will to power, but whether you dare to recognize and use it to serve your own greatness. It expresses itself in the desire to learn, to understand, to master knowledge. It manifests in the ambition to conquer challenges, to overcome physical and mental limits. It drives you to seek independence, autonomy, and to reject reliance on anyone or anything. Every time you overcome a fear, every time you achieve a difficult goal, every time you stand firm against adversity, that is the will to power igniting. This world is filled with the weak, those who fear change, who cling to what is old. They are the ones who will try everything to drag you down, to extinguish the fire within you. They will use flowery words about morality, about justice, to disguise their fear and envy. They are the herd, those who merely conform, afraid of isolation. Do not listen to them. Do not let those small voices obscure your vision. This demands courage, self-confidence, and an unwavering will. It means you must dare to face criticism, scrutinizing gazes, and even the hostility of those who cannot accept your greatness. You must dare to follow your own path, regardless of what others think or say. You must dare to redefine success for yourself, not according to outdated societal standards. Becoming unstoppable requires you to rise above the moral rules set by the herd. This is not about trampling over others, but about creating your own value system. You must become a creator of new values, not a blind conformist. This means you must dare to break molds, dare to think differently, dare to go against the majority. You must be aware of the truth about master morality, the morality of those who claim the right to set rules, to set values. They are not concerned with good or evil in a universal sense, but only with what serves their interests, their greatness. You must learn to see through the sweet words, the glamorous appearances, to discern the true motives behind every action. And most importantly, you must dare to embrace solitude. The path to greatness is often a solitary one. The mediocre will not understand you. They will try to pull you back. Accept that. Solitude is not weakness, but a sign of strength, of independent thought. The will to power is not merely a desire for recognition or dominance. It is a desire to create, to build, to shape. The man or woman who is unstoppable is one who constantly learns, constantly grows, constantly creates new values for the world. They do not wait for permission. They do not seek approval. They act. They create. They turn ideas into reality. Look at what you can create. Look at what you can build. Look at what you can improve. That is how you express your will to power. That is how you prove that you are not a victim of fate, but an architect of the future. Creativity is the supreme form of power because it allows you to shape the world according to your will. Value creation is not an altruistic act in the usual sense. It is an act of self-affirmation, an expression of the will to power. When you create something of value, you not only enrich the world, but also enrich yourself. solidify your position, and prove your capabilities. From a groundbreaking business, a moving work of art, or a mind-altering philosophical idea, all are forms of value creation, and all are expressions of the will to power. You must have vision. Vision is the ability to see what does not yet exist, and to have the will to bring it into being. The mediocre only see what is. The great see what can be. Vision is the map of the will to power. It is the goal you aim for. Without vision, the will to power will wander aimlessly. Value creation demands discipline, perseverance, and the ability to endure setbacks. It requires you to turn ideas into action, dreams into reality. You must be willing to do what others dare not do, to think what others dare not think. Life is not a bed of roses. There will be times when you stumble, when you fail, when you feel lonely and desperate. The weak will collapse, will try to escape, will blame fate, but you will not. Pain is not a sign of weakness, but a test of will. Adversity is not a barrier, but an opportunity to prove your strength. Every scar is a story of survival, of overcoming. Every failure is a valuable lesson, a stepping stone to your progress. Embrace the pain. Turn it into fuel for the fire of your will. Look directly into the abyss and realize that you can overcome it. Challenges are not your enemies, but your teachers. Every difficulty is a test, an opportunity for you to grow. Only by confronting and overcoming adversity can you discover the hidden strength within yourself. Those who avoid difficulties will remain weak forever, forever living in their small comfort zones. You must learn to accept the instability, the uncertainty of life. It is an unavoidable part of the process of ascension. The fear of failure is one of the greatest chains. Turn failure into motivation, rejection into determination. Machiavelli understood that to achieve goals, one must be willing to face risks and accept unintended consequences. This is the spirit of the will to power. The weak fear risks. The strong create their own luck by taking risks and turning them into opportunities. You cannot avoid pain, but you can choose how to react to it. You can let it destroy you, or you can turn it into a source of strength. This is the difference between a mediocre person and an unstoppable one. We are bound by outdated concepts of good and evil, concepts created to control and limit. The man or woman who is unstoppable is not bound by those narrow definitions. They create their own values, define their own meaning. This does not mean you must become immoral. It means you must take responsibility for your actions, instead of hiding behind the rules of others. It means you must dare to live authentically, even when it goes against social norms. You must be your own judge, not one who follows the judgment of others. Master morality is the morality of strength, of self-confidence, of the ability to self-determine. It is not a rigid set of laws, but an internal orientation, an acceptance of the instinct to ascend, to conquer. It does not seek external approval, but seeks self-affirmation. You must ask yourself, what truly benefits my growth, the expansion of my will to power? What makes me stronger, more independent, more autonomous? Those are the things you should pursue. What makes you weak, dependent, or stagnant? Those are the things you need to eliminate, no matter how good society labels them. This is a revolution in thought, a rebellion against mediocrity. It demands that you dare to look directly at taboos, dare to question everything you have been taught. Your life is a work of art. You are the artist, and the will to power is your tool. You have the power to shape it, to create it, to transform it into a masterpiece. Do not let others paint your picture. Do not let others decide your colors, composition, or theme. Every day is an opportunity for you to add a brushstroke to the canvas of your life. Every decision is a choice of color. Every action is a line. Create a work that you are proud of, a work that reflects your strength, wisdom, and courage. Live a life without regret, a life you have personally crafted, not a life given or imposed. The art of life demands audacity, experimentation, and the ability to face unintended results. Like a sculptor who removes excess from a block of stone to reveal the form within, you must be willing to eliminate what does not serve your vision, what hinders your growth. This also means you must constantly recreate yourself. Yourself is not a fixed entity, but a work in progress. You must continuously learn, continuously adapt, continuously grow. Every day is an opportunity to become a better, stronger version of yourself. Stagnation is death. Growth is life. Value every moment, every decision. Life is a series of moments woven together by your choices. Ensure that those choices reflect your will to power, reflect your desire to ascend. Now, you know the truth. You have seen the light. The will to power is not an abstract concept, but a living force, a burning fire within each of us. It is the most precious gift you have been given, and you have a responsibility to activate it, to nourish it, to let it burn brightly. You are unstoppable when you understand this. You are unstoppable when you dare to confront the truth of your own nature. You are unstoppable when you abandon weakness, abandon mediocrity, and dare to reach for greatness. Remember, this world owes you nothing. Success, respect, greatness, all must be earned. No one will give it to you. You must create it yourself, fight for it yourself. Never let others define your worth. Never let others set limits for you. Look within. There you will find boundless strength, an unquenchable will. You have the power to change your life, to shape your destiny. You have the power to live a life full of meaning, full of strength, full of greatness. Do not waste it. Do not give up. This is not advice, but a command. Wake up, stand up, claim your sovereignty over this life. Crush every chain of mediocrity. Embrace the burden of greatness and live true to your ultimate nature. Dominate your own game. Be unstoppable.